man, Brian Sullivan. Got a beautiful ivory tiger, double het genetic stripe and purple male here. Just proved him out on the het genetic stripe. We didn't hit any of the purple stuff this go around, but I feel like I just didn't hit the odds well. It was a very small clutch. I think maybe next go around we'll hit some purple stuff. So today though we're talking about breeding. I did a brief breeding 101 where I gave a message about being prepared to breed and enjoying your animals for a while before you just jump into things both feet. Now we're going to get a little bit more into the actual breeding process a little bit. Big things. People always want to know, and people are constantly asking me online, when is my female ready? When is she ready? She's 3 years old. I put the male in there. She won't let him near. The age really is not that big of a factor. I've seen them go at 2.5. I've seen them go at 5, 6. I very rarely see them go at 3 like everybody said. 3 years they breed. That's not usually the case, honestly, for those females. My sweet spot seems to be 4.5. 4.5 going into their 5th year. Those females are ready. They want to breed. If you've done a good job feeding and you've been diligent and keeping up with that animal's weight and keeping them looking good, then by 4.5, that animal should be pretty much ready to rock. The next thing you're looking for, you need weather shift. Is a big thing for me. There are other people out there that they have success different ways maybe than I do. They might regulate it solely with food, or they might drop their own temps indoors, or whatever it is that you do. But I'm just going to tell you my method that I've been doing now for a few years that really works for me. And the biggest thing I start to look for and wait for is your fall. When fall hits and you get those first fall heavy rains and the seasons really start to shift here in Texas, man, it just seems like everything drops 20 degrees outside, the barometric pressure goes crazy, and all of a sudden your snakes are acting weird and they're acting goofy indoors, and they're doing kind of what you want. They're starting to pre-build. Your females will be going off of feed a lot of times. They'll start to bloat and coil tight. That is usually your follicle development. That first big bloat, you haven't necessarily even put a male in there yet. She just looks bigger than normal. That's her developing her follicles, getting ready to cycle, getting ready for the breed season. At that point, that first bloat, she's coiled tight. She's going to be on the cold side of her cage. She will not be on the hot side of her cage. If you're noticing that, coiled tight, bloated, hugging that cold wall. Sometimes they'll be so on the cold wall that they'll throw their belly up on the side of that wall trying to get it as cold as they can. That is a female that is ready to breed now. That is a female that you need to get your boys out like this, get them in there and get them rolling. You will notice right off the bat when you get that male in there too, whether or not she's truly ready or not. Sometimes you've still got a 3-4 day, 1 week window there where they're not going to really be wanting that male in there with them. So when you put your male in, what you're looking for is no reaction at all from your female. She should really pretty much just hold still and let him do what he needs to do. And he's going to be arching all over the place and all over the walls, and he's going to probably be so excited that first time he's in there, he may not even get a lock. He's going to be fucking the water bowl and humping the side of the wall, and you'll find sperm all over the cage sometimes and on the glass. Like, they're pretty prolific breeders, but those males, when they get amped up, they don't always do the job right every single time. So it's going to be a series of introductions from here. If you see a lockup, when they're done locking up, get that male out of there. Put him back in his normal cage. Maybe give him a small meal the next day. Give him a day break. Put him back in again. This introduction process really is going to help you get consistent locks, get quality locks, get what you're looking for. These males in the wild, they're trying to spread their seed as far as they can spread it. So when they come down out of those treetops looking for the females to breed, what they're really looking for is as many females as they can breed as possible. They're going to lock with one, and then they're off to the next one. They're not going to lock 7 times with the same female in the wild. That's not conducive to spreading his genetics to the hobby, to the world. He's really trying to make as many snakes as he can. That's the goal. And so in captivity, once they've locked, if you just leave them there with that same female, you're usually not going to get a whole lot more action than that. You might get 2 or 3 locks, but you're not going to get the same as if you pull that male and then you reintroduce again 3 days later. He's going to lock with her every single time you introduce him. And that, to me, it's It's putting the nail in the coffin, making sure the job really gets done right. If you put that same male in there, though, and you notice she's tail wagging, her tail's flopping all around, she urinates, that's not a good sign either. She's bucking out of control, trying to smash your male, exposes her cloaca, and has got it pushed up against the glass. Like, all of this is her telling him, no, dude, I got a headache. You ain't getting none of this tonight. That's literally what she's telling him. She's shutting him down. And at that point, you really need to get your male out of there because he could get seriously injured. I know many people that have lost males in these kinds of situations where a giant female will just smush one. So you really want to be there and be cautious that she's not showing or exhibiting any of these negative behaviors before you just walk away and leave them overnight. I think that's a pretty good cover of what you're looking for in your females, your introduction process. Males, I like to be somewhere around 2.5 to 3 years old, honestly, 2. I know everybody says they'll breed at 8-10 months. I don't see those people breeding 8 and 10-month-old males usually having giant viable clutches. Usually you have a lot of slugs in those clutches. So I don't even attempt to breed anything until at least 2 years of age. And then I have a lot of 2-year-old boys that don't know what the hell they're doing yet. 3 seems to be really the sweet spot. 2.5 to 3 years. They're around 6 foot or so. They weigh about 7 to 10 pounds. That's a good breeder size male. And then my breeder males typically don't get much larger than this. This is about a 6-year-old boy here. Maybe he might be a little younger. He might be more like 5. I got to look at some records on that. But he's an adult breeder male. He'll probably get another foot or 2 longer. He'll probably put another 5 or 10 pounds on maybe. But long, lean, this is what you're looking for in your breed males. This is a guy that's going to go in there and he's going to get the job done every time. Ivory Connection, Ryan Sullivan. Y'all be good.